The first piece of news is that Bam Adebayo dropped 83 points on Tuesday night. You heard that right. 83 points. That is the second most points in a game in NBA history. He surpassed Kobe's 81 against the Raptors in '06, and that is only behind Wilt Chamberlain's Fugazi 100-point game. Yes, it's Fugazi. The only proof that game happened is a piece of paper with crayon on it. I will stand by that take for till the end of time. But Bam Adebayo dropped 83 points. There's been a lot of questions about the ethicality of it because he attempted the most free throws in NBA history, and he made the most free throws in NBA history. He had 43 free throw attempts. He made 36 of them. That's way too many free throws. It was nasty to watch. I will say he did make 7 threes. He had an efficient game as well, but he also I just get hung up on the free throws. I think he attempted as many free throws as he did field goals, which is nasty work. But 83 points is still 83 points, no matter how you get around it. There is also the caveat that it came against the Wizards, who are all younger than I am. They're all like 19. So there's also that caveat to consider. They also just did not double team Bam at all. I think they double teamed him late in the fourth after he already had like 70 or something like that. It was insane. And then Eric Spoelstra has not backed down on criticism for his coaching decisions. To put some context behind it, the Heat were kind of trying to get the scoring record. They were fouling to get the ball back. They were doing a whole lot of stuff to try and get Bam the ball over other players and just rush the pace, kind of to emulate the 60s basketball where Wilt got his 100. Just push the pace as fast as possible, get him as many shots as possible. And Spoelstra has not backed down from that at all. He said I don't remember off the top of my head, but he is not apologizing for it. And I don't know how I feel about Bam Adebayo scoring, now holding the second most points in NBA history. It just doesn't feel right. I feel like if you polled like 100 people, 95 wouldn't have Bam Adebayo in the top like 50 people or top 50 players who are going to become the second highest single game scorer in NBA history. Like, no one thought this was going to happen. Like, Bam is also just not known as a scorer. I think he went from 18.9 points per game. Like, that was his season average before he scored 83. It went up to 20 points per game. Like, he's a tweener big. Nobody expected him to do this. Someone who's averaging 18.9 points is not supposed to score 83. Like, you nearly quadrupled. No, you didn't nearly. You quadrupled your season average. Like, that doesn't compute in my head. It's just wild stuff. So, yeah, Bam Adebayo is now above Kobe Bryant for most points scored in a single game with 83. What is happening to the game that we love here? Jeez Louise. We're going to stay with basketball, though. Go to something not as weird, but unfortunate. Tyrese Maxey's been diagnosed with a tendon injury in his right pinky, and he'll be reevaluated in 3 weeks. So this is just unfortunate. I love watching Tyrese Maxey play. He's honestly one of my favorite players to watch. And even though the Sixers have been struggling a bit as of late, this just really takes the wind out from under them. Tyrese Maxey is their best player by far, even if Embiid has bounced back in this latter part of the season. He's been playing well. It's just tough to watch Maxey have to sit off on the sideline. And then I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw a tweet about Maxey, Embiid, and Paul George that they've barely played together. I think it was like of the 179 games they've been on the Sixers together, I think they've only played like 30. I could be completely wrong about that number, but it's a very, very low number. Like they haven't played together at all. And that team would be good. It's just that Embiid dealt with injuries. PG is dealing with and dealt with the suspension, and now Maxi he's injured now, but Maxi has been the most consistent player for that team out of those three, and it just sucks to see him have to leave. But now I think it'll be up to VJ. He'll take that mantle. He'll try and improve. We'll really see if he can lead the team, be that impact player that they wanted him to be, and that he has the potential to be. Now we are going to move away from soccer or move away from basketball and get into soccer. There has been a lot of news being made about Iran and whether or not they are going to compete in the World Cup this year. As I'm sure all of you know, the U.S. is now at war with Iran. Iran has qualified and have been qualified for the World Cup for a long time. But their, I think, Minister of Sport, I don't believe that's the official title, but he said that the team is considering pulling out of the World Cup. The senior official from the Islamic Republic of Iran Football Federation said that what is certain is that after this attack, we cannot be expected to look forward to the World Cup with hope. They said that it is doubtful they are going to be playing, and president of the U.S. isn't exactly making things better. If people don't know, he is buddies with Infantino, who is the president of FIFA, the main body of soccer, the organizer of the World Cup, things like that. So that doesn't bode well. And then President of the U.S. has been making comments and replying to the things that the Iranian Football Federation has been saying stuff like they'd be lucky to play, they'll be welcome, but not like necessary. Like it's it's getting messy, and it's not something that you want to see. The World Cup is supposed to be this event that brings countries together, it unites people. It's the most watched sporting event like in the world. It only happens once every 4 years, so you just hate to see it getting overshadowed by all of this stuff that's really just messy, and it shouldn't be happening in sports. I've been talking about this in one of my classes about the politics that's involved with sports. They always go together. They always go hand in hand, which is unfortunate. I think that it should somehow be separated, even though that'll sadly never happen. But just let the players enjoy the game. Don't let them be affected by what is happening to or in the outside world. It's kind of I'm sorry. I'm kind of saying just this is kind of like going to basketball players like just dribble a ball or just shoot the ball, stuff like that. That's not what I'm saying. I think that they should be free from having to worry about the impacts that their actions are going to have, and they shouldn't be a reflection of their country's decisions. I don't know, because like as I'm saying this, all of this stuff kind of just sounds the same. I'm just like rephrasing it. I just feel like the politics shouldn't be intermingled with the sports. They should be two different things. Let the World Cup be the World Cup. Let it be separate. And then let whatever issue is happening between the US and Iran and Israel, let that be a different thing. Don't let them overlap and ruin something that has been happening for nearly a century now and is just something. It's the greatest sporting event in the world. It brings people together. That's the main point of the World Cup. So it's just, I just don't enjoy seeing this and hearing all of the stuff that is coming out about this situation between Iran, the US, FIFA, and whether they're gonna participate. But now we get into some interesting stuff. We got Champions League. I will say some of this stuff surprised me, some of it didn't. Galatasaray beat Liverpool 1-0. It was an interesting. They scored early too. It was like 7th minute. Yeah, 7th minute. It wasn't. I honestly thought Liverpool was gonna win. You can go back a couple episodes ago when I previewed the round of 16 and everything that happened there. I thought Liverpool was going to easily handle Galatasaray, but you never. Apparently not. So they have to go win in or they have to go win their next match. It has to be either 2-0, 3-1, something like that. It has to be a decided thing. And I believe Liverpool can do that. They have the talent to do that. It'll just be interesting to see whether or not they'll be able to do that. And then something else that I another storyline that really came out. We'll gloss over Bayern and Atalanta. That went as standard. I knew that was going to happen. But something that bothered me was the Atletico Madrid Tottenham game. Tottenham decided to start the second goalie, and he let in 3 goals in the first 15 minutes of the game, which ended up with him getting subbed off. So you sub off your goalie in the first 15 minutes and put in Vicario, who is your first goalie. First of all, I don't understand why Vicario didn't start the game for you. It is the Champions League round of 16. You cannot afford to go down 3 goals. You don't come back from that. And then it's like, why are you starting this young keeper in such a high profile match? Let Vicario start. He's the older, more experienced goalie. You can ruin this kid's confidence. Something that I saw was a tweet saying that it reminded them a lot of Karius for Liverpool against Real Madrid in that Champions League final a couple years ago. I think something like that may end up happening where you just killed this kid's confidence because you decided to throw him under the bus in maybe one of the biggest moments of his life. So it's not exactly something that you want to see done by any team. And then Bodo Glimt is going to be in the quarterfinals unless Sporting decides to win 4-0. Bodo Glimt won 3-0 against Sporting, and They just looked amazing in that game. Honestly, I thought Sporting. I said Sporting was going to win that series, but clearly I am wrong. Bodo Glimt is going to win. They're going to play the winner of Arsenal and Bayer Leverkusen. So, Bodo Glimt, congratulations. You scare me now. I don't know how far they can go. If they face off against the winner of Bayer of Leverkusen and Arsenal, they could very well beat them, which which is which would be amazing. Honestly, have them get to the semifinals. That would be quite the story, quite the fairy tale world, and something that we really haven't seen in a while with all these powerhouse teams owned by these rich, really rich people dumping billions of dollars into their squads. And then talking about rich teams with owners dumping in billions, Real Madrid mopped the floor with City. City didn't even see the ball. And that caused a lot of questions to be raised about Pep Guardiola's lineup. When you have Valverde scoring 2 goals in the span of 7 minutes and a hat trick in the first half, there are questions that are going to be asked. That should not be happening. It wasn't even Mbappe. It wasn't Vini. It was Valverde. That should not be happening. So it looks like Real is going to go through, and they're going to face Bayern in the next round. A lot of interesting stuff is happening in the Champions League. It'll be interesting to see what else happens and who ends up going on to the next round. After that, we got UFC. The White House card is official. They're going to issue 85,000 free tickets to the White House card. It's wild. I can't believe that, first of all, the fight is actually going to happen. That card, the fact that that card is happening is just blowing my mind away. Because I've talked with a lot of friends in wrestling club, jiu-jitsu club, the MMA gym, like about the feasibility of hosting like a UFC event at the White House. The amount of security that you have. First of all, the president's going to be there, so you got Secret Service. It's the White House, so you're going to have the military there as well. You're going to have the UFC like private security. You have all the event staff there as well. You have the fans. And then you have families. It's just a logistical nightmare. I don't know how all of this is gonna happen. So they still have a couple months to plan. We're in March right now, March 13th, and it's gonna happen June 14th. So you still got April and May to plan it. You got 3 months to plan it, but it's quite the logistical nightmare to like go through. But honestly, hey, if you get a White House card, the amount of money that you will be able to generate is absurd. And also, you just got to put the best fights on there. I don't care who it is. Have shoot, go with what the U.S. president said. Have like 9 title fights, even though there aren't even like 9 like male weight classes. You got like flyweight, bantamweight, lightweight, uh, welterweight, middleweight, light heavy, heavy. Go like add BMF and then just add another weight division for all I care. Go White House champion. Just do something. It's gonna be spectacular. I can't wait to watch this. I will be tuned in for every minute of that card. And then last piece of news. This one was kind of funny, but apparently the U.S. is very entitled when it comes to baseball. Or maybe the U.S. manager is just dumb. Because the U.S. manager mistakenly said that they had already advanced in the World Baseball Classic to the quarterfinals, but they weren't. And then they lost to Italy. Since when is Italy good at baseball? Since never. We don't play baseball. Play soccer and rugby
and volleyball, but that's it. And ski because we did or winter sports because we did really well at the Winter Olympics, but we don't play baseball. That's not what we do over there. So yeah, you lost to Italy, and you had to rely on Italy beating Mexico for you to pass to the next round. That's concerning. You should not be relying on Italians in baseball. You have the most disgusting roster filled with some of, or not some of, filled with the best talent in baseball, apart from probably the Dominicans who are just launching bombs and emoting every game that they play in. So you should be able to do that. Also, you should, Mark DeRosa, you should know what it takes to make it to the next round, not just assume you're there because you're the US. Not how that works there, buddy. So that was certainly entertaining to watch. But that is all the major news that has happened outside of NFL free agency. Some entertaining stuff though. I enjoyed it. But now I've been mentioning NFL free agency since I started the show. Now it's finally time to actually get into that.